Every 2 seconds, someone is forced to flee their home to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. 1, 2. In these 2 seconds, someone's life has changed forever. Mothers, fathers, young adults, children, as they arrive in their host communities and countries and begin to rebuild their lives. Access to education is more important than ever. It has the power to transform lives, foster peace, and rebuild nations. But today, only 1% of eligible refugees have access to higher education.
Refugees, as well as displaced people and migrants, usually face huge obstacles in achieving results and completing their training courses. It's a question of language, it's a question of costs, it's a question of not being able to demonstrate the competencies and degrees they already acquired in their countries.
With 65 million refugees around the world, this is a global problem that requires a global solution. By providing refugees with access to higher education, we not only nurture their talents and skills, but empower them with the tools they need to contribute to their host countries, and one day play a part in rebuilding their own nations. As the only UN agency with a mandate in higher education, UNESCO is the driving force in global efforts to help all students, including refugees, to better access higher education. UNESCO has worked at a regional level in Europe and North America, Africa, the Asia-Pacific, the Arab states, and Latin America and the Caribbean to establish conventions to assess and recognize the qualifications of refugees. Building on these efforts, UNESCO is preparing a global convention on the recognition of higher education qualifications, expected to be adopted in 2019. A first of its kind, this global convention will allow for the increased movement of students and academics between regions, as well as establish common recognition practices worldwide, giving refugees an even greater chance of accessing higher education in their new countries. Join us, and together we can make history and empower the next generation of lifelong learners with the tools they need to change the world. UNESCO. Everyone has the right to education.